Hi, my name is Melinda Beazer, and this is my tribute to Jim McDonald, and also my video on helping to celebrate McDonald's 62nd anniversary. I didn't get to speak at the anniversary party that McDonald's had last weekend, namely because we were under time constraints, and if I had got up in front of everybody, my speech probably would have ran longer than what Gary allowed us to have, because I would have been kind of long-winded, and Gary wanted to keep it kind of under 5 minutes, and I never could have kept it under 5 minutes, so better that I do it here than up there. So I just wanted to take the time to say a few things. I've known the McDonald's basically all my life. I started coming up to the McDonald's resort when I think I was still in diapers. I was pretty young when I started coming up to the McDonald's resort. What I remember about Jim McDonald's was the first time I saw Jim McDonald's. To me, Jim McDonald's was a giant. He was this really tall guy with these big, broad shoulders, and I was just a little thing, and he was just, to me, a giant with this big booming laugh, and he used to tease me, and I just loved him. I just really loved him. And I used to hear all these stories about him when I was growing up from my dad, because my grandparents, well, my family's relationship with McDonald's went way back. My grandparents had a cabin up there at one time before they sold it, which to this day just kills me. They actually had a cabin and then they sold it. I don't know who sells a cabin up there. I can't imagine selling a cabin up there. I wouldn't sell a cabin up there, but they sold it. Anyway, they sold their cabin, and then they got a cabin cruiser and cruised around the lake. And so my dad, like me, grew up around the docks up there and spent his summers up there. And so he was around about the same age as Gary. So he grew up around Gary and spent his summers up there. And so I grew up hearing a lot of stories about my dad's summers up there. And I grew up hearing stories about how they used to gang up on Jim. A bunch of the boys used to get together, and they were always trying to shove Jim into the lake. A group of them would get together, and they would tackle Jim, and they try to push him into the lake. And a group, they'd think that they would get him into the lake, and Jim, he would just, no matter how many of them there were, he'd just pick them up, and he'd just throw them into the lake. You know, there'd be 4 or 5 of them, and pretty soon all 5 of them would end up in the lake, and Jim would be standing there laughing at them, and they'd all be in the lake. And they never could, Dad said, no matter how hard they tried, they never could get Jim into the lake. They always ended up sailing through the air. And so my goal as a kid was to, I thought it would be the coolest thing to get tossed in the lake. And so I used to pester Jim to no end, you know, trying to get him to toss me into the lake. I was just this little kid, and I used to pester him to no end. I would try to annoy him to the point that he would toss me into the lake. And that was my goal. I wanted to be tossed in the lake, because I thought that'd just be the coolest thing to get tossed into the lake. And so I'd pester him and you know, trying to get tossed into the lake. And finally, when I was about 10, he finally tossed me into the lake, and I was just so happy because I finally got tossed into the lake. I wasn't so happy years later when Gary and Scott decided to carry me out of the store fully clothed one morning and tossed me into the lake. I had pushed my cousin fully clothed into the lake that morning, and she went in there and whined to them about me pushing her into the lake, and so they picked me up and tossed me into the lake fully clothed. And the lake was cold that morning, and I wasn't too happy about that. But I got back at them because then I came down there and laid in my bikini out on the dock, right out there where the guys that were setting up the fireworks out on the platform could see me, and it was very distracting to them, and I just laid right out there and just caused a lot of distraction and a lot of trouble right there on the dock. So I did get back at them. But anyway, my relationship with the McDonald's goes clear back. And so I just want to say a big thank you to the McDonald's family for all that they do, you know, for everybody. I can't imagine, you know, a better place to visit. The McDonald's, are, I think, for all of us, a big part of our lives. The resort is one of the best places in the world to be. I love the resort. If I could, I would live at the resort year-round. I tell everybody that. I'd live on the docks if I could. I just love it there. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Europe several times, been to uh, 12 different countries, and I still can't imagine a better place than McDonald's. The services they provide are above and beyond. Um, my family, we haven't moored a boat there in many, many years, and yet Gary still lets us come up there, and we still use the docks. We still swim off this private beach up there. I bring my girls up there now. I started bringing my girls up there when my youngest was in diapers. He lets my kids run around the docks. He lets my kids use the private docks. Some of the services they provide, you don't even have to be staying at McDonald's for them to provide services for you. Myself, I'm a constant hassle up there. I mean, just, to give you an idea of the things that they have to put up with up there. One year I was staying up at State Farragut Park, and I forgot my air pump for my air mattress. So I go running over to Hudson Bay. Gary, I forgot my air pump. I can't blow up my air mattress. And so they used their air compressor, and they blew up my air mattress for me. Another year, I forgot the hammer to drive in the stakes for my tent, so I go over to Hudson Bay. I don't have any hammer for my, I can't drive the stakes in for my tent. So Jim McDonald comes to the rescue and loans me a hammer from the shop so I can go over and drive the stakes into the ground for my tent. Another year, I forgot the cooler for my food, so they loaned me a cooler for my food. And then my dad, he bought this old RV that I called the Tenement on Wheels, and believe me, it lived up to the name. It was the Tenement on Wheels. And of course, it broke down at State Farragut Park and wouldn't start. And so my dad sends me over to Hudson Bay. I'm like, Dad, what are they going to be able to do at Hudson Bay? They take care of boats. And we're not even staying at Hudson Bay. And he sends me over there, and Gary, our RV won't start, So Gary and Jim get out the phone books and, start looking through the yellow pages, trying to find somebody that can take care of this RV. And sure enough, Gary gets on the phone and he finds somebody on a holiday weekend that will come in there and haul this RV to a mechanic shop in Bayview, or not Bayview, but over there in Athol. Haul this RV out of the State Farragut Park to a mechanic shop in Athol that can take care of repairing this RV, during the week. And so that's just some of the things that Hudson Bay will take care of. It doesn't matter what the emergency is. Doesn't matter if you're actually staying at Hudson Bay. As long as you were a customer at one time, and they know you at Hudson Bay, they will go out of their way to help even former customers that haven't moored a boat in over 10 years at their thing. They'll help you out. Because once you're a friend of the McDonald's, you're always a friend of the McDonald's. Even if you're a former employee that's fallen on hard times, they'll take you in and let you live over their laundry room, apparently. That's the kind of people they are. And that's the kind of environment that they offer. I can't, I say this all the time, and I recommend, McDonald's Resort to everybody that I meet, because I can't imagine a better family than the McDonald's, or a better resort. And it's not just the McDonald family; it's the people to make up the McDonald Hudson Bay community. I don't know, the McDonald's draw in some of the best people around. The people that live there, that make their homes there. If your boat is broke down or you're having trouble with your boat, you've got if you've got the hood up on your boat and you're trying to get the thing started, within 5 minutes you've got people standing on the dock, old timers, coming around, giving you advice, sharing their knowledge with you, trying to help you get your boat started. Um, just, always there's somebody there wanting to help lend you a hand. And that's just the kind of the people that the McDonald family draw in. That's the kind of environment. Your kids are safe on the docks. You don't have to worry about them, when they're out of your sight. You know that they're going to be safe, wandering around Hudson Bay. You don't have to worry, you don't have to worry about your vehicles. Over in Bayview, they've had problems with people breaking into cars over there, bashing out windows. You don't have to worry about your vehicles down at Hudson Bay. Nobody's busting out your windows at night at Hudson Bay. You know how many break-ins or things getting stolen. Uh, you don't have to worry about those kind of things down in Hudson Bay. That's the kind of environment that you have down there. That's the kind of safe, you can feel safe at Hudson Bay. That's just one of the many services that Hudson Bay, offers. And the way, as far as Gary's employees, as far as Gary is concerned, it doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, lawyer, or a single mom that doesn't have 2 cents to her name. They give you the same kind of service across the board. No one is special. No one is less deserving than somebody else. They give you that same caring, that same kind of quality service, and you just can't get that anywhere else. And that's why I love the resort. I love to come up there. I love to spend my time. I literally live in the store. I'm there all day. You can't get me out of there. I'm sure Gary gets sick of having me around that store. He'd like to probably kick me off those docks, but he puts up with me for some reason. He lets me hang around there, and I'm grateful because I do love to be around the docks and down there, and I try to help out when I'm down there. So, a big thank you goes out to the McDonald family for everything that they do. Um, I can't say it enough, and I just want to say, a big thank you for everything that they do, how much they're appreciated, how much we love them for everything that they do, and I hope and I pray that the McDonald's Hudson Resort will be around for a good many more years, and I hope it continues on through many, many more generations. Thank you.